Bahamians applying for U.S. visas will now face an extra $250 fee. Tonight, the new law signed by President Trump comes as travel hurdles grow. The Prime Minister weighs in on what it means for thousands planning to visit or study in America. And after months of negotiations, government greenlights a new hospital project in New Providence with China, but only with half the workforce set to be Bahamian. The health minister says he's still fighting for more local jobs. Plus, in a powerful act of kindness, Cuba, Bahamas teams up with Great Commission Ministries to deliver much-needed essentials to struggling families across the island. Then in Our News at 7:30, non-resident ambassador and businessman Sebastian Bastian says he's not planning to run in the next election, but politics could be on the horizon. The Prime Minister praises his expertise and what he could bring to the country. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. On the heels of new United States student visa policies impacting the region, Bahamians heading to the United States may have to pay even more to get there. A major shakeup in U.S. immigration policy means Bahamians applying for visas, whether for vacation, school, or business, will now be hit with a new fee. Signed into law by President Donald Trump on July 4th, the legislation introduces a mandatory $250 visa integrity fee on all temporary visa applications. And that's on top of what you're already paying for processing, making the cost of visiting or studying in America a lot more expensive for thousands of Bahamians. Prime Minister Philip Davis was asked about the issue today as concerns mount over the growing hurdles for travel to the U.S.
No, that's not a matter for us to talk about. It is the policy of the United States government, and we do not engage ourselves in policies of other countries. That is their policy. It just does not apply to us alone. It's a policy that impacts all applicants, not just the Bahamas, but other countries.
And after months of talks, government has finally signed off on an agreement with the People's Republic of China to build a new hospital in New Providence. But new details reveal the workforce split is currently 50-50 between Bahamians and foreigners, and the health minister says he's still pushing for a better deal. Bethany McDermott is following this.
The Davis administration taking the first step in finalizing an agreement for a $267 million hospital in New Providence. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville explaining environmental clearance for the project has already been granted by the Ministry of Environment, and the certificate is with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. When asked about the issue of Bahamian to foreign workers, Dr. Darville says it's still being worked out despite the initial agreement being signed Friday morning.
The labor component, we're still in negotiations. We're presently at 50-50, and we're trying to see if we can do a bit better. I'm about to do a communication in Parliament about the entire project, and so we will go into all of the details as it relates to the labor component and all of the necessary questions that may arise.
Typically, there is a 70-30 ratio requirement in construction projects, particularly those involving foreign investment, where 70% of the workforce is intended to be Bahamian and 30% non-Bahamian. Most recently, there were workforce ratio conflicts with the $250 million point development during its construction in 2019. As it relates to this latest project, construction is expected to last up to 36 months, and according to Darville, after the groundbreaking, mechanisms will be put in place to expedite the process. Details of the loan provided by Dr. Darville show the final financial agreement verified that 73% or $195 million of the project cost will be funded by the China Exim Bank, and the remaining 72+ million will be funded locally, internationally, or both by the Ministry of Finance.
The Chinese Export and Import Bank loan will carry a 2% interest rate over a 20-year period, inclusive of a 5-year grace period.
Prime Minister Philip Davis said the agreement represents a mutual respect between both nations. Leaning on the decades-long challenges in healthcare, Davis stressed the urgency of the new facility.
The Bahamian people deserve a healthcare system that works, one that meets them where they are, and one that lifts the standard of care for everyone.
Now, according to the Health and Wellness Minister, this is the first initial signing. He says another one is to come with the China Exim Bank. That, he says, will finalize this agreement. Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
45-year-old Jason Williams behind bars, accused of raping a 16-year-old girl. Prosecutors say this happened on July 5th at a shop on Balfour Avenue. Williams didn't have to enter a plea to the charge when he made his first court appearance before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans. Bail was denied and Williams returns to court on October 16th for a voluntary bill of indictment. And just days after a national survey revealed Bahamian teens are facing a full-blown crisis from drug use to mental health struggles, one youth advocate says the findings hit home. Teen Challenge Executive Director Eric Fox says the 2025 Global School Health Survey is right on the money and underscores the urgent need for more programs that actually speak to what young people are dealing with. The report found alarming levels of alcohol and drug use among teens in the country. Fox pointed to the Urban Renewal Youth Achievers program as a step in the right direction, but he says more has to be done if we want to turn things around, especially those statistics.
We need more programs like that on a national level. So we can have persons who will come in and train these young people. How do you deal with crisis? I've written a manual called How Do You Handle Failure? There's a lot of persons who are writing books and talking about how to be successful. They don't tell you that failure is a part of success.
The report surveyed more than 2,000 students on 8 islands, namely Abaco, Grand Bahama, Exuma, Eleuthera, New Providence, Andros, and the Berry Islands. It received an 80% response rate. The report also revealed 1 in every 5 Bahamian students attempted suicide. Fox believes as a society, not enough attention is being placed on mental health issues.
When you say, "Well, I'm going to go see a therapist, or I'm going for counseling," "Oh, no, man, you crazy. No, man, you don't need that, man. Take a drink, take a smoke. You know, you freaking yourself out there." We don't take these seriously, but there's a lot of traumatized young people. And that's why you'll even find, you see a lot of young men are getting involved in antisocial behavior because it's easy for them to inflict pain on people because they're hurting too.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's standing by in the Weather Center. Happy Friday, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Candine, and a happy TGIF, everybody. What a way to end the week. Very hot temperatures today on the outside. And it is still warm. 85 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 89. Temperatures right now around the Family of Islands, all in the mid-80s. 85 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Great Harbor, Key, the Berry Islands. Alistown, Bimini here in the capital. Nicholstown, Andros, 86. 84s in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Governors Harbor, Eleuthera. Into the Central Bahamas, 85s once again popping up in Kemps Bay, Exuma, Kemps Bay actually, South Andros, Black Point, Exumas, as well as Georgetown, 85 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn, San Salvador, and in Port Nelson. Deadman's Key, 86 into the Southeast Bahamas, 86 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and in Abrahams Bay, Meguana. Duncantown, Ragged Island, 85, 88 in Matthew Town in Inagua. And looks like Turks and Caicos Islands, you are the warm spot this evening. 89 degrees is the actual temperature right now. Satellite radar composite, we are clear. Most of the activity that we have been experiencing for the last couple of days pulled well to the north of us. That upper level low weakened and moved into the Gulf of Mexico. We have some high level clouds moving in from the east. That's another low that's expected to get near sometime early next week. But in the meantime, ridge of high pressure, some Saharan dust will continue to keep us rather stable. Very warm temperatures expected for the weekend. Get out and enjoy. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, turns out all the home runs Jazz has been hitting, yes, it's been for the Yankees to win ball games, but also been a part of his master plan all along. We'll tell you all about it.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Lifeguard customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. It feels like this happens every time Jazz Chisholm Jr. steps onto the field, but he's about to make Bahamian baseball history once again. The New York Yankees star has officially been named as the 8th and final participant in the 2025 T-Mobile Home Run Derby, set to take place Monday, July 14th at Truist Park in Atlanta as a part of MLB All-Star Weekend. Chisholm makes history as the first Bahamian to compete in the Derby. He's up to 17 home runs and counting this season and enters the Derby on a hot streak with 7 homers in his last 12 games. He'll square off against an impressive lineup of sluggers in Atlanta: Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, James Wood of the Washington Nationals, Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins, O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays, Brent Hooker of the Athletics, and hometown favorite Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves.
Bahamian baseball prospects showed out on Independence Day in the AA Texas League. Sebastian Walcott homered for his Frisco Rough Riders, but Christian Robinson had the final say with his walk-off single. Robinson's Amaretto Saw Blues overcame a 9-run deficit in the 11th inning, capped by Robinson's late-game heroics.
Sprinter Anthony Strawn is gaining momentum on the European circuit after a string of promising performances in Italy. Strawn recently raced at the International City Meet in Nembo and finished third in the 100 meters in 11.49 seconds. Just over a week ago, she raced at the Arcobaleno EAP and took second out of the field of 40 in 11.85 seconds. And we send you into the weekend with the 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a U.S. federal raid at a California farm nursery sparks clashes over migrant rights. Plus, a growing health concern as new CDC data shows 1 in 3 teens have prediabetes. And in a bid to tackle growing drug use and trafficking, Cuba unveils a new observatory backed by the EU. The story when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only,
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. federal agents raided Glass House Farms nurseries in Southern California Thursday, detaining around 100 workers. Protesters clashed with ICE and National Guard troops demanding migrant rights. The Trump administration's farm worker deportation stance remains unclear after recent reversals. New data from the Centers for Disease Control shows 1 in 3 teen ages 12 to 17, or 8.4 million young people, had prediabetes in 2023. The condition raises the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Officials calling it a wake-up call, urging families to promote healthier eating and more physical activity. Bitcoin has soared to an all-time high, topping $118,000, driven by a surge of investments into spot Bitcoin ETFs. The rally is reportedly fueled by a soft U.S. dollar and crypto-friendly policies under the Trump administration. The U.S. Senate recently passed the Genius Act, aimed at regulating stable coins and boosting consumer confidence as part of a broader push to legitimize and stabilize the fast-growing crypto space. The U.S. House is set to consider the legislation next week. Caribbean activists and researchers are calling 2 days of meetings in Europe a major step forward in the fight for slavery reparations. Delegates from Barbados, Jamaica, Haiti, Suriname, and other CARICOM nations held high-level talks in Brussels and London last week, rallying support from lawmakers in the European Union and United Kingdom. The group is backed by the Repair Campaign, a movement based on CARICOM's 10-point plan for reparatory justice. In Brussels, they met with EU parliamentarians from countries including France, Spain, and Ireland. In London, they held briefings with MPs who expressed strong support. Campaign founder Dennis O'Brien says the meetings were just the beginning of a global political push to address what he calls a historic injustice. And Cuba has launched a national drug observatory to track rising drug use and trafficking on the island. The Interior Ministry says the new tool will detect emerging substances and trends through a research network and early warning system, part of Cuba's zero-tolerance drug policy. Despite harsh laws, the ministry says internal consumption is on the rise, with recent convictions, including a 20-year prison sentence for marijuana cultivation. Officials say the observatory is backed by the EU and aims to strengthen surveillance, even as Cuba blames the U.S. embargo for limiting cross-border cooperation. Still to come on our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was July 11th. Then in our news at 7:30, Lincoln Baines says Bahamians are tired of the PLP and FNM and are turning to the Coalition of Independence. After ratifying all 39 candidates, Baines says he's confident COI will gain ground in the upcoming election. And after years of planning, ground is broken on a state-of-the-art prison and court facility aimed at meeting international standards and focusing on inmate rehabilitation. We'll show you scenes from today's event when our news returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color.
On this day in Bahamian history, 2010, Colton Harris Moore, also known as the Barefoot Bandit, was captured by Bahamian authorities on Harbor Island. Moore was a suspect in a string of criminal offenses committed in multiple states in the United States, including identity theft, burglary, illegal entry, flying a plane without a pilot's license, and attempting to elude police. He received the title the Barefoot Bandit for carrying out some of his crimes while barefoot. On July 4, 2010, a Cessna airplane was stolen from Bloomington, Indiana. Harris is believed to have been responsible for the theft when the plane was found crashed on the shore of Great Abaco. Shortly after, there was a string of robberies on the island, which included the theft of a 44-foot power boat. The boat was later located at Harbor Island, where the Royal Bahamas Police Force had tracked down Moore. After being stopped, he attempted to flee, but the boat's engine was shot out by the police. Before being apprehended, he threw his laptop into the sea and pointed a gun to his head. However, the police were able to talk him out of committing suicide and surrendering. He told police he had planned to flee to Cuba and then to the Turks and Caicos Islands. After being taken into custody, he was taken to New Providence, where he was placed on trial and pled guilty to charges of illegally entering the country and illegally landing a plane. He was sentenced to either 3 months in jail or a $300 fine. His mother wired the money to the U.S. Embassy in Nassau, which was paid to the court. That night, Moore left the Bahamas to answer charges in the United States. And finally, in 2020, 3 additional cases of COVID-19 was found in Grand Bahama. This brought the island's confirmed cases to 6. These newly confirmed cases were all females, 2 of which had a travel history, while the other did not. They were isolated, and this brought the confirmed cases of COVID to 111, with 11 active at that time.
All right, in a heartfelt show of corporate and community unity, Cuba Bahamas group of companies has teamed up with Great Commission Ministries to host a donation drive for some of the most vulnerable families on New Providence. Fueled by a spirit of compassion, employees from across the company pitched in, all donating boxes packed with everyday essentials that many in our community go without. Larissa Delancey is Strategic Partnerships and Events Coordinator.
We had employees that come together from all different departments, and we were able to donate non-perishable items, hygiene items, and essential items that persons don't have the opportunity to access on a day-to-day basis. We take these things for granted, and this is why we decided to partner with Great Commission, because this is what they do.
Great Commission Ministries Executive Director Dr. Tamalia Gibson emphasized the value of presence and human connection and service to others.
We serve hot meals, delicious meals, to 450 to 600 persons every day. A lot of times people want to be active and giving back. So you want to donate financially and donate groceries and donate meats, but you also want to have a role in smiling with someone, giving them a handshake, a hug, an encouraging word. And you can do that here at Great Commission Ministries. We would love to have you come here and volunteer. We need volunteers because the work is growing, the needs are growing. So all hands on deck. Come on and come and see us, and we would love to have you. We need the support.
All right, what a great effort. And as we celebrate 52 years of independence, we're still spotlighting some of the places that have fed our spirit and flavor for decades. One of those is Goldie's Conch House. It's a community staple in Arawaki that's been serving up Bahamian pride, one dish at a time. Danielle Miller stopped by last year, but she returned to see if the Conch King still holds the crown.
Many of our viewers watching, of course, you've seen this commercial before.
If you want a real nice, tasty Bahamian dish, there's a place on the fish fry.
And you've heard these words. If you ask me where gurn, I gurn by Goldie's. If you ask me where gurn, I gurn by the
Conch King.
For the past 36 years, Kirkwood Goldie Evans has owned a restaurant on Arawaki called Goldie's. Best known for their conch dishes, he was dubbed the Conch King by thousands of locals and guests. Last year, I entered the gates of his palace and challenged him to our taste test and was held captive by the flavors of his conch dishes. Recently, I set out on a quest in honor of the Independence season for the best down-home food, and my journey led me back to the iconic Goldie's. I was greeted by the Conch King in his newly renovated dining area, and immediately I was given a plate of cracked conch and a bowl of conch salad. The duel to defend his title was on.
No ketchup, no hot sauce, just conch.
Now I want you to be honest, not because I sit in here. The honest way I'm gonna do better if I get complaints, so let me know.
This right. This tastes good. Still the king.
Still the king, I like to hear that.
Don't just take my word for it.
We're staying at a different place, and we were told, come here, try the conch fritters, conch salad, and everything, and it'll be so much better. And I'm here to say it's so much better.
I work and live in Grand Bahama. I come over here probably every other month. I don't eat breakfast. When I know I'm traveling, I don't eat breakfast. I don't have lunch because I know the first place that I'm coming once I touch down, I come in the Goldies.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, coming to Goldies. Thanks so much for that, Danielle. If you want to watch our story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Jerome Sawyer in for Italia Hall with the latest headlines. And Jerome, I know you were telling me the story of Goldies before we came on air. I know you said that they were the first.
He was the first guy on Arawaki to put a conch stand there, so he is a legend in his own right in so many ways. And just before you go, I just want to say this. And for all you Grand Bahamians, Italia, Megan, who've been perpetrating this fraud about mayo and conch salad, if you've been watching our series, Goldies does not put mayo and conch salad. We don't have that in Nassau. I'm just putting it out there.
I agree. No mayo and conch salad. Never wanted.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
Thanks a lot, Candido. Have a good weekend. Well, the COI's Lincoln Bain says Bahamians are tired of the PLP and FNM. Plus, ground is broken on a state-of-the-art prison and court facility. Here's a look at your latest headlines. Ahead on Our News Live at 7:30, the political future of a gaming and real estate giant gets the attention of the Prime Minister. Also,
after years of planning and waiting, ground for a new department's correction facility and court has been broken here at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. For more details on this, stay tuned to Our News tonight.
And the trial of a bus driver accused of raping a minor gets ready to go to jury deliberations. We'll tell you about the accused's testimony in court today. And later on, one family helping another, a church community, organizing a benefit concert for a family who lost everything in a recent devastating house fire. Our News Live at 7:30 starts in a moment.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our news at 7:30. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Natalia Hall tonight. At the start tonight, murmurings of the upcoming elections and who's on the ballot getting the attention of Prime Minister Philip Davis, who is welcoming the political interests of gaming and real estate mogul Sebastian Bastian. Following rumors of him running in the upcoming general election surface, Bastian appeared on the Beyond the Headlines show with Shanique Miller recently, saying while he had no plans to run in the upcoming general election, he would not rule out politics in the future. Prime Minister says Bastian has a wealth of skills and knowledge that would benefit the country.
He has demonstrated that he's been a successful young businessman. He has expressed an interest in running, and once he applies, his application will be considered in the same context as we consider any other aspirant. But I can say I welcome his willingness to come forward to help and build this country. His innovative mind that he's demonstrated in his businesses shows that he has something to offer.
Well, during the Independence celebrations, Member of Parliament for Sea Breeze, Leslie Miller-Bryce, telling the Tribune she would back an amendment to the Gaming Act, a law many believe may have cost her a spot in cabinet. The act currently bars cabinet ministers and their immediate family members from holding gaming licenses. So what does the Prime Minister think?
I don't think we would have. No, I don't think we'll amend the law to have cabinet ministers to have an interest in gaming licenses. That's not on the table for me.
Well, the coalition of independence leader Lincoln Bain says both major parties should be worried because, according to him, the Bahamian people are ready for something new. Bain claims that voters are fed up with the PLP and FNM and says the COI is gaining ground. His comments come just days after the party ratified all 39 candidates for the next general election. And as the election draws closer, Bain says he's confident more voters will choose a different path and give the COI a real chance.
The PLP and FNM should not feel threatened by the COI. They should feel threatened by the Bahamian people, because that's who we are. We are the Bahamian people who said the politicians have been failing us, so we've formed a political party of real Bahamians who want to make the change. And they can see the hurt and the pain of the Bahamian people, and most people are saying that they're voting differently or they're not voting. And so I think they realize that, so they know there's something in the air. And I think that the Bahamian people are going to try something different this time.
COI recently unveiled its full slate, while the FNM ratified 17 candidates of its own. And some of the familiar names and faces have come under fire for their performance during the last Minnis administration. That's for how Bain feels.
I'm disappointed that the FNM is talking about change, even quoting our slogan. I'm disappointed that they're bringing the same old candidates. 10 of them ran in the last election. 9 of them were actually in the government.
Well, after years of talk, it's finally happened. Government has broken ground on a new multi-million-dollar prison wing and court at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The goal? To bring the facility up to international standards and put a stronger focus on rehabilitating inmates, not just housing them. Our Joshua Williams fills us in.
Ground was broken on a $90 million new high-medium correctional facility and judicial virtual court complex. Gathering at the Bahamas Department of Corrections this morning, prison officials say it's the first step for something that they've fought long for.
Today marks more than the turning of soil.
It marks the turning of a new chapter in the administration of justice in the Bahamas.
Approved maps show a facility that will include state-of-the-art housing pods, a far cry from the dated facilities that have no plumbing facilities. Once completed, the new cells will have air-conditioned cell blocks, along with various medical spaces, library, classrooms, and a chapel. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe promising that the project, started under the late Dr. Bernard Nottage, will be held to international standards. He also says they're making changes now at the current facility as they prepare for the new one.
There is First Lady scheduled to be open hopefully later this year, the female juvenile detention facility. There is now a psychiatric director here in the person of Dr. Nelson Clark, occupational therapists, and other professionals. To address nutrition, there is a cook and chill system that is well advanced that should be introduced this year to improve the nutrition in this facility.
The U.S. State Department has been vocal about the current facilities, calling conditions harsh with inadequate sanitation, poor nutrition, and poor access to proper medical care. It's something U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish is commending the government for addressing.
This new high-medium correctional facility will provide a safer and more secure environment for staff and inmates. It will also assist in addressing the needs of incarcerated U.S. citizens, ensuring that all incarcerated individuals have adequate facilities while serving their sentences.
And with ground now broken, it's a hope of officials that construction can begin here in the next 2 months or so. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much for that report, Josh. Well, a bus driver who denies raping a teenage girl at an abandoned home back in 2023 could learn his fate next week. Anton Thompson, 41, branded claims by the then 15-year-old girl as lies when he testified at his trial. Prosecutors say the rape happened on November 18th after Thompson picked up the alleged victim and her teenage friend. It's alleged that Thompson had the girls perform oral sex on each other before he sexually assaulted the other girl. Thompson's lawyer, Dominic Roll, has described the alleged victim as a problem child and a runaway. A jury will decide his fate on Monday. Well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us for the first look at temperatures. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Jerome, and welcome everybody on this TGIF Friday. Very warm conditions on the outside after a day of hot temperatures. 85 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. East winds, 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 89. Satellite radar composite, it is quiet across the area. Ridge of high pressure is in charge. We do have a thin layer of Saharan dust that's keeping things rather stable. So we're not seeing much in terms of any shower activity. That upper level low that affected us the last couple of days pulled well to the east, west of us actually, and into the Gulf of Mexico. But there's another one expected to get here sometime early next week. That could bring us some more showers for the early part of next week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
And still to come on Our News, a social services shelter at the center of an ongoing and growing controversy. Tonight, opposition members and the minister responsible are weighing in. We've got the complete story for you. The Prime Minister also weighing in on a global survey on the state of our young people. He says the findings are a wake-up call. Find out what else he also had to say. And a church community steps in to help a family left homeless by a devastating house fire started by an arsonist. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama. Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
In less than a month, dozens of Bahamians could be out on the streets. The Social Services Minister confirming more than 24 residents of the government-run Poinciana Inn will be relocated. The announcement comes just days after disturbing videos allegedly showing deplorable conditions inside the shelter went viral online. And this morning, tensions rose as several members of the Free National Movement showed up attempting to get inside the facility. Our Danielle Miller has the full story tonight.
Comments?
No comments?
Thank you.
So we weren't given an opportunity to access the building. They have standing instructions, according to the gentleman, that only residents and staff can access the property. And when asked what he views the state and condition of the common areas and structures to be in, he simply replied, no comment.
That's Free National Movement Member of Parliament for St. Anne's, Adrian White, moments after he and several other FNM members tried to enter the Poinciana Inn shelter this morning. White was joined by FNM candidate for Fox Hill, Dr. Nicholas Fox, National Vice Chairman D'Angelo Ferguson, and National Assistant Secretary Heather MacDonald. The shelter visit came after these videos went viral this month, allegedly showing conditions at the center. The building is currently being utilized by the Ministry of Social Services as a shelter for residents struggling to access other living accommodations. Dr. Fox says it raises major concerns about public health.
It's a petri dish for disease. You have sewer leaking down to the lower floor. You have children in here playing in the sewer. It's disgraceful.
While the FNM members were outside the shelter, Minister of Social Services Miles LaRota spoke to reporters on the sidelines of the groundbreaking for the new facilities at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. LaRota says he can't confirm if the videos are from the shelter, but he did admit they've gotten complaints.
So the government, that lease ends very shortly. The government and the Department of Ministry of Social Services has already taken steps to relocate those residents that are there to other facilities. No decision has been made yet as to whether we would re-engage, but any re-engagement would be dependent on more upgrades to that facility.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Prime Minister Philip Davis is calling it a wake-up call, responding to shocking findings of the 2025 Global School Health Survey. Davis says the data is deeply concerning and can't be ignored. The report revealed that 1 in 5 Bahamian students aged 13 to 18 have attempted suicide. A statistic the Prime Minister says is a clear call to action. Davis addressed the issue while speaking at the signing ceremony for a new hospital in New Providence.
There's no single cause, but we know the pressures are real. The expectations, the silence, the bullying, the economic strain at home, and the ever-growing influence of social media. The images, the comparisons, the pressure to be perfect, it's too much. Our children are carrying burdens many of us can't see, and in some cases can't even begin to understand.
Well, the survey covered 8 major islands, and officials say it got an 80% response rate. Students from 35 public and private schools took part, more than 2,000 in total. Prime Minister Davis says government has already taken steps, including the introduction of a new mental health bill aimed at modernizing the approach to mental health He also pointed to ongoing training for nurses and teachers to help them better support students. But even with those moves, Davis admits it's still not enough.
We also have to change how we show up in the lives of our children. How do we show up in the lives of our children? A tablet cannot take the place of a conversation. An iPad cannot substitute for quality time. And the pressure our children face from constant pull of social media, the comparisons, the online cruelty, they need to be liked, followed, validated. It's harming them.
15 Grand Bahamians are taking the plunge, enrolling in a new Lifeguard certification course launched by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture in partnership with the YMCA. Over the next month, they'll be trained for CPR, water safety, first aid, and what it really takes to save lives. And this time around, there's a new requirement for long-distance swimming. It's a skill now built into the program, according to YMCA Executive Director Karen Pinder-Johnson.
We've incorporated a learn to swim aspect of the course, which allows for the individuals to learn how to swim properly and at the same time build the endurance where they're able to swim the distance that is required to be a lifeguard. And hopefully by the time we have Disney Cruise and Celebration and all those cruise ports come here to seek out Bahamians for the jobs, these individuals will have that opportunity to leave as well.
She says because of the partnership, the course was free.
The Ministry of Youth, Sport and Culture. This initiative is free to the participants. The Ministry of Youth, Sport and Culture saw it fit to ensure that we're able to hire the instructors to teach the participants and also pay for the certification for those individuals. So once the program is completed and the participants complete the course, they would also undergo a lifeguard certification course, which would allow them to enter the job market qualified for the positions at these various cruise ports and hotels.
Coming up in sports, Jazz enters an extremely talented field for the Home Run Derby. Bahamian prospects celebrate Independence Day with some big moments on the field. Antonique Strawn returns to form, and your holiday continues with the 10YS Players of the Week.
Keisha, one thing with you ain't never have no money. I just sent Miko inside Wendy's just now because Wendy's having their summer promo. Just hot cash, girl. Yes, hot cash. But anyway, we did this one right now. We trying to win this $10,000. And even if you ain't win the $10,000, you can win $2,500 every week. Even if you don't get no ride, Keisha. Anyway, Keisha, I go on Miko Reach. Fine. All you gotta do is upgrade any combo between 1 to 12 to medium or large. And they get this new spicy chicken club sandwich. But I just sent Miko inside there for from June 24th to August 1st. You ain't getting the Wendy's, that's on you. But don't ask me for no money when I win.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. It feels like this happens every time Jazz Chisholm Jr. steps onto the field, but he's about to make Bahamian baseball history once again. The New York Yankees star has officially been named as the 8th and final participant in the 2025 T-Mobile Home Run Derby, set to take place Monday, July 14th at Truist Park in Atlanta as a part of MLB All-Star Weekend. Chisholm makes history as the first Bahamian to compete in the Derby. He's up to 17 home runs and counting this season and enters the Derby on a hot streak with 7 homers in his last 12 games. He'll square off against an impressive lineup of sluggers in Atlanta. Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, James Wood of the Washington Nationals, Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins, O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays, Brent Hooker of the Athletics, and hometown favorite Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves. Among the group, Chisholm's 17 homers ranks 6th.
Bahamian baseball prospects showed out on Independence Day in the AA Texas League.
Sebastian Walcott homered for his Frisco Rough Riders, but Christian Robinson had the final say with his walk-off single. Robinson's Amaretto Saw Poodles overcame a 9-run deficit in the 11th inning, capped by Robinson's late-game heroics. Walcott hit a solo home run in the 6th inning to give Frisco an early 6-2 lead. Both players return to the field tonight, and the 6-game series concludes on July 13th, headed into the All-Star break.
Sprinter Anthony Strawn is gaining momentum on the European circuit after a string of promising performances in Italy. Strawn recently raced at the International City Meet in Nembo and finished third in the 100 meters in 11.49 seconds. Just over a week ago, she raced at the Arcobaleno EAP and took second out of the field of 40 in 11.85 seconds. Strawn has shown her resilience yet again after she suffered a season-ending injury to both feet a year ago. In May, she ran a season's best 11.34 seconds in the 100 meters and 22.86 seconds in the 200 meters in Jamaica. It's your first edition of Top Players since the country turned 52? Obviously, it's a big deal. At 5, we get started in NBA Summer League. Isaiah Mobley grabs the board and goes coast to coast. Seems like something the Warriors can use.
At number 4, Sebastian Walcott is ready for the Futures game, and with his home run, looks ready for the majors.
At 3, staying in the same game, Christian Robinson with the walk-off single to win it for the Soy Poodles. Highlights started in the afternoon, ended at night. This was a really long game.
At number 2, BJ Edgecombe's Summer League debut was a beauty. He didn't play last night because he wanted to keep the Independence theme going for the Bahamas.
And at number 1, you know it had to be there. A multi-home run game from Jazz, his 7th home run in his last 12 games. We're all locked in Monday night at 8 p.m. and I wonder what John is going to predict. We'll hear about it in the outro. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Okay, so this is about to be the most active weekend for Bahamians ever, the MLB All-Star Weekend, but I know what people want to hear. Give them your predictions for the Derby.
Well, Sebastian Walcott's going to win MVP of the Futures game. Jazz is going to win the Derby by 1 million home runs. He's going to win MVP of the All-Star game as well. 242 is going to be doing big things in the A.
It's all up to you now, Jerron. Back to the studio.
And still ahead on Our News tonight, coming to help one of their own. The St. Agnes Church family steps in to help a family left homeless in a recent fire with a benefit concert this weekend. Plus, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at the weekend forecast and the week ahead. Stick with us.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. They're going to marvel.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Italia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.
This is Our News. Welcome back on this TGIF Friday. Lovely conditions on the outside. High pressure is in charge, that built in from the Atlantic. We do also have a thin layer of some Saharan dust moving across the area. That's going to continue to keep us rather stable for the next several days. But those temperatures will be very warm. So if you plan on doing anything on the outdoors, make sure you stay hydrated and wear the appropriate clothing. In the meantime, though, that high will stay through the early part of next week. There's an upper level low that's spinning in the Atlantic. That's expected to get here sometime early next week as well. That should bring us a chance for some more showers early part of next week before another high pressure system builds in across our area. The tropics quiet, couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, not showing any signs of organization. The Atlantic quiet there, the Caribbean also quiet, couple of waves moving over there, and in the Gulf of Mexico also quiet. Taking a look at the future forecast, nothing happening across the area, just to the north of the Bahamas, a big disturbance hanging out there. Some of the showers could make it into the Grand Bahama area, but we don't expect much in terms of anything. That Saharan dust will continue to limit the shower activity, but we do expect the showers to be nearby the northwest Bahamas. Some more showers expected by the early part of next week with that upper level low. Boating forecast, northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Slightly higher on the Atlantic side, so we have a caution flag for you out there. High tide is at 9:57 tonight. The low tide takes place at 4:27 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place for you guys down there as well, but the winds are stiffer, east to southeast, 15 to 20 knots, seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, some spotty showers expected on Saturday as at upper level low, and most of the moisture pulls out of our area, but temperatures will be in the upper 80s for the balance of the week and into early next week. Another upper level low moving in by the early part of that, couple of showers, but the 90-degree temperatures will return by Wednesday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Finally tonight, a family left homeless and a church community stepping up to help them rise from the ashes. The Dorset family lost everything when a fire tore through their Coral Heights West home last week, forcing them to flee in the middle of the night with nothing but the clothes on their backs. For 25 years, that house was home, and for years the family poured their hearts into the St. Agnes Anglican Church through music. Now, that same church family is showing up for them, planning a benefit concert to help the Dorsets start over. Leading the charge, longtime organist and director of music, Preston Ferguson.
This concert will be held on Friday, July 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at St. John's College Auditorium. The tickets for the evening will be at the price of $20 and $5 for children. The Dorset family, they're very instrumental in the music ministry of this church. Husband and wife, Dwayne, Janet, the children, or the daughters, Danielle, Jody, and Diane. And so we thought we will come together and stage this concert in their benefit.
Tickets can be purchased at St. Agnes Church, and the family has also launched a GoFundMe account to support their recovery efforts. Another key organizer is the youth choir director, Caroline Jervis, who says the concert will be filled with gospel music and community spirit.
Being your brother's keeper is all about humanity. It's understanding that this could have been me. It's understanding that this is not just another individual, but this is my brother, this is my sister. The Dorsets are dear to me. He and I work very closely together with the youth choir. And so it's just all about being empathetic and understanding that in this life, we all go through situations and we need to be there for each other.
All right, a great effort there by the St. Agnes Church family. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer, joined Berthany McDermott and the team tomorrow for our news weekend edition. Have yourself a safe and wonderful evening.